Well, I think it's simple data. I think roughly about what we have seen on our network, roughly about 80 to 85% of the traffic and usage essentially comes from applications. So clearly it's a pretty strong bend towards applications. I would argue that there is a lot more that one needs to do towards application than towards mobile web. The user interface, the quality of the quality of the application and the content is much higher in application. So I think apps is a way to go. There is a location within advertising has multiple levels. If you think about it all the way from the top, you start to do location at a country level, which is very generic. Yes. You come down to a state and a city level, which is also generic enough. Right. Then you start to come down towards what they would call a zip code, and then whatever, a radius.
A radius, yes.
A smaller radius than a zip code. All of these are. And then the last one is effectively, micro locations, which is in-store locations, etc. So it's inside the store.
Inside.
So what's where am I in this building? Which floor am I on, etc. So you start from a country and you go all the way down to which floor you're on. Right. Clearly, there are use cases which happen at different levels. It's from a capability point of view, one could do almost everything. Maybe not the the in-store or inside a building one right now. I think the key is ability to get scale and relevance at that micro unit level. I think there is a lot that is happening at the city level today from a practicality point of view.
That's right.
And Zip is starting to kick in. In more developed markets, Zip is actually pretty strong, and people are actually starting to get into the radius-based targeting. So I think it's just an evolution, but I think city is the way to go from an India perspective, because data is not that strong and clean in India. So therefore, at scale. So therefore, probably city and some parts of the city are the way to go for India. This specific example is a very enigmatic example. Like it's a very cool example to give. The practicality of this example is very low. Like why would I actually suddenly see an ad from Starbucks or from Cafe Coffee Day and walk into a Starbucks and Cafe Coffee Day? Doesn't make sense. So I think the use cases have to be really understood well before those things. That's why I referred to from a technology capability point of view. Yes, everything is possible. From a practical point of view, one has to still stay at city and parts of the city level. One can actually push the envelope on location and try and figure out are these urban areas or are these office areas, etc., and do more creative things around that. But I don't think one should try to get to very far deeper levels right now. So I think there is a lot of data outside of social data. Social data was driving, it was not so much the personal data. I think the social data was driving a lot of what others like, and therefore you might like it. I think there is enough and more data within the mobile streams today to really start personalizing the ads and the proposition to the end user. It's clearly out there. Again, I think when you look at different markets, there are markets like India, there are markets outside of India, or more developed markets. There is a gradation in terms of where each market is. Outside of India, look, we do very deep targeting, whether it's finding a golfer, looking for a shopper, looking for in-market auto lovers, etc., because the data is available. When it comes to India, the data qualities are not that high. Therefore, it takes some bit of time to get there, but I think it's just a matter of another 3 years or so when you'll have that quality of data collected on the signals and you'll be able to use that. Advertising has to be loved by users. Nobody likes banner ads. We also don't like banner ads. Therefore, we are willing to get rid of them. Native ads, as a fundamental platform, effectively takes the ad and gives it the shape of the environment in which the ad has to appear. Therefore, the ad looks far more amicable, and people like to work towards it. It's a very natural thing to do when it comes to mobile, because unlike the web, the app ecosystem is far more native, and therefore we believe native is the way to go. Banners are dead. We are the only player in the world who has native at scale today. So we clearly see ourselves disrupting advertising as we go over the next 6 to 12 months. You should watch out a bunch of other products that are coming out. It's going to be massive disruption that we'll be trying to do in the mobile ad space. It's an interesting question. Look, I'm not an expert on pharma at all, specifically in India, pharma. It'd be premature for me to try and answer that question. I would argue that pharmaceutical as an industry is an important industry, large enough industry. I know regulations have some challenges in India because of probably people not realizing the importance of a drug vis-a-vis the usage of it, and therefore the promotions are somewhat controlled. From a social perspective, I agree why that's the case. I don't have a point of view on, I hope we can do a more responsible job when it comes to advertising for pharmaceuticals. We're solving for the right things. There is huge focus within companies because it's a deeper technology, and therefore you'll see it in few companies that are able to do this. I just think it's a function of time before a large portion of the ad ecosystem converts to rich media, and therefore the effectiveness of it will clearly go up. I just think it's a function of technology. It's not a function of anything else. Why is there ad blocking? Ad blocking is there because users don't like ads. It's fundamentally the issue. I agree with that issue. If we want to build a large business, we should be able to make advertising useful, relevant for the end user. We have a mission in the company to make users love advertising. It should be that good. When that's the case and they find value in it, they won't be blocking. But if they don't find the value in it, they find it as irritants, they will block it. And I should support that. So yeah, it's a mission for us to make people love ads.